Well, Shaquille O'Neal is over 7 feet tall. He's somewhere between 350 and 400 pounds, and he's in great shape. If anything, I wouldn't say it was false confidence on my behalf, but it's more wrestler confidence. I know the formula for selling a match, and perhaps that's all it is. Perhaps it's just false bravado. It's just big, loud talking and a lot of wind based on I want people to see Shaq in an AEW ring. I think the person who leaves AEW at night and goes to the Nightmare Factory and trains, that being me, has a different outlook on it. And I have wrestled some of the better giants in the industry. I've wrestled the best giant in the industry, and I'm sure I can't say his name in this moment, but I couldn't be more prepared for this match. It's a simple stick and move type match. I hate to reference Goro and Johnny Cage, but it ain't all that different. This guy's not going to be able to keep up with my wheels. So the moment he is blown up is the moment he's not able to pick me up. It's the moment I'm able to capitalize. And I should be confident now that I think about this, because I'm a wrestler. He is not. He's coming into our world. It would be no different than if I walked on the court with him. I would not be expecting to win. I don't think Shaq is expecting to win. And I think Red Velvet's the ace up the sleeve. Red Velvet's an active wrestler compared to Jade, who currently is an anomaly. We don't know. We just know that she is incredibly strong and has a size advantage just like Shaq does on Red Velvet. But I think she's the ace up the sleeve in a match like this.
I have nothing to prove, but little Cupcake Cody challenged me. It was my fault. I was being interviewed by his lovely wife, and I mentioned Jade because she's a new upcoming superstar. And I guess she got mad and threw water on me, and I guess a man's supposed to protect his wife, but I thought it was over. But you challenged me at my job on TNT, so I'll be there March 3rd. Don't worry about it.
Having somebody like Shaq on AEW it's a nice indicator that we're not playing by any rules. It can be anybody. There are these traditional wrestling companies and wrestling rules and conservative wrestling organizations that if you look at them, you know very much what you're going to get. There might be a cookie cutter element to that, and I don't mean to disparage, but I mean when it comes to AEW, we don't have those rules. Shaq wanted to have a match with me. He's the one who put it out there on social media and floated it out there in the first place. Well, I think be careful what you wish for, because AEW will absolutely give it to you.
My finishing move is called the Black Tornado. You will see it. And he's going to need help. He's probably going to have his friends probably jump in and all that stuff, but that ain't going to matter.
Well, off the record, well, it's not off the record because I'm saying it to you in the camera. Unbeknownst to many, Red Velvet is not completely signed at AEW. Red Velvet's on kind of a retainer deal, a tier 0 essentially. And this might be too much inside baseball, but you asked, so I'm going to tell you. What's most exciting is when Arn Anderson presented her live on Dynamite and she pretty much dropped the mic and let us know who she was and left. Didn't wait for some glad handing and some hugs and to make it official. She rose to that occasion. I anticipate she rises to the occasion in a match like this. I have all the confidence in the world in her, as this Brandy, and I'd love that to parlay into a full career here at AEW. I mean, talk about somebody genuinely seizing the moment in the middle of this dumb, unrelenting pandemic. That doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum of it. It is unrelenting. Please end. And in the process of this, AEW we haven't let up one bit. We've continued to provide content, and we've continued to provide ridiculous matchups. Not unlike this one, myself, Red Velvet versus Jade and Shaq. But I really do think Red Velvet, who was filling in for Brandy, will make it clear that she's not a fill-in, that she's not a substitute, that Red Velvet is going to matter here at AEW.
Well, I don't need to train for wrestling. I'm here at his spot because I'm hoping to see him here so I can knock him out, but he never shows up at his own gym. So I'm just hitting here lifting weights and running around, but I don't need to train for cupcakes and red cinnamon bun, whatever her name is. I don't even know her name.
I mean, it's not really an if. Again, if I walked onto the court with Shaquille O'Neal, I am fully anticipating that I would beat him in bed. No. it's not an if to me, it's a when. Me and Red Velvet will defeat Shaq, and we will defeat Jade, and it's back to business for me. I'm not going to ask him for a steak in Papa John's. I'm not going to want his Rolls Royce as one of 31 different vehicles he has. I'm not going to hold it over his head. He did the work. I know that. He's trained. He's prepared. He's not looking at this or looking at our sport as a joke. He's looking at it with sincerity and love. And I hope a partnership will be formed, if anything. Sometimes the best way to bond is through battle. And that's what's going to happen. I don't anticipate that. I think Shaq will get a few shots in, and I'm going to feel those. Just look at the size. I'm going to feel those. I've got to be able to bounce back. I've got to have the chin to be able to come back at him. But at the end of the day, I hope he has a new respect for AEW and a new respect for me, and I'd love to see him more.
So there's probably a lot of guys that have the ability, but listen, I'm not coming to wrestle. I'm coming to fight. I'm going to show you what power looks like in AEW.
He called me a cupcake. He said a few other things. He did a spinning back elbow into some plexiglass. I think Shaq has a sense of occasion. I think Shaq knows what it means to build a match. I think he might be far more a wrestler than we think. But I've been called far worse than a cupcake. I really have. And maybe that's what this will come down to. When Shaq is looking up at the lights for the classic 3-second tan, and he's now an official wrestler and he's officially 0-1, maybe that's the first thing I'll eat. When I come backstage, maybe I'll have my very pregnant wife hand me a cupcake and just nom 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 right in front of Big Shaq. Let him know. Yeah, sure, I love cupcakes. I anticipate the war of words will always happen with Shaquille O'Neal and myself. I look forward to it. It's honestly fun to see someone with such a sphere of influence and such an impressive legacy and continuing just entrepreneur. It's fun to see his interest in AEW. It really is.